What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, guys, I'm gonna be breaking down how to approach realtors and brokerages. This was a highly requested video, so I'm glad to finally bring it to you guys, and I'm gonna be going over everything from what to wear, what to say, what to bring, and my overall tips and tricks. So let's not waste any time and dive into the video. But before we start, this is my one big disclosure before anybody says anything, and that is this is my personal opinion and my personal experience. You're gonna see a lot of big YouTubers in this space promote something called the Instagram method, which is essentially just DMing realtors and reaching out to them that way. And the people that promote this method are typically in largely densely populated areas like California, Atlanta, Tallahassee, Houston, and in Harris County alone, for instance, the active agents and brokerages, along with people just do real estate in general, is 48,000 people, okay? 48,000. And if you go to a small place like Lexington, Nebraska, you're gonna see that there's only 13 licensed agents in that area. If you live in Nebraska or Lexington and you're trying to see somebody who's using an Instagram method in Houston, it's not going to be effective for you. And a lot of people that watch these videos are typically in smaller areas. Now, I live in Florida, and if you drive 1 hour one way, you're going to find like 20 brokerages. If you drive an hour the other way, you're going to find like maybe only 2 or 3. I live in a pretty small area in Florida, all things considered. So I've seen the Instagram method work for some people, but in the low populated areas or where the brokerages are only like 2 or 3, brokerages in the area, it's not effective. A lot of those brokerages have been there for 20 plus years, and some of them don't even use Instagram or really even know how to use it in general. So believe me when I say that the going into brokerages method works in an area that has a lot of realtors and an area that doesn't have a lot of realtors. This has been a controversial opinion and take in the past, but the reason I bring this info to you today is because it has worked for me and has worked far better than using the Instagram method. But I implore you and encourage you to check out other YouTubers and other people's methods and find one that works best for you. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the video. Now, the first step is gonna be what to wear. Now, this shouldn't be a controversial take, so we're gonna go through this pretty quickly. Now, I always go by the practice of wear what you're going to perform in. So this works for both men and women, and typically, I would suggest wearing khaki pants and a polo that has your brand or logo on it. Don't go in there looking overdressed and wearing a suit and tie or some super formal attire, because the person that's attending the front desk is not gonna know how to process this interaction when you walk in. As you can see, this look is very confusing and is not a look that I recommend when going into a brokerage. They're not gonna know whether you're buying or selling real estate, you're a realtor, or somebody looking to work with realtors. So don't start off this interaction by confusing them. Wear what you're gonna perform in. It's the easiest way to identify you, and it still looks professional. Step number 2 is going to be what to bring. Now, typically I like to bring 3 things. The first is business cards. And no, I do not mean the tap thing. It's cool, it's trendy, and more importantly, it doesn't work. Realtors and businesses in general prefer to have a physical business card, and they do not like the tap thing. Trust me when I say there's a lot of opportunity for awkward pauses, for it not to work, and it's easier to just pull out a business card. Now, your business card should have your company name on it, your name, contact info like email and phone number, your website and or Instagram so people can see your work if you're not there in the office. But your business card should be something super simple, so don't get too crazy with it. It should just have, some of the services that you provide along with your contact and business information on it. The second thing that you need to bring and invest in is an iPad. I go into it in a previous video why it's super important. I'm gonna link it here and at the end of this video. But to summarize, one of the major points is that you don't want your body of work to be judged based on whatever they have in their pocket, meaning their phone. They could be rocking with an iPhone 8 for all you know, with their brightness turned all the way down, and you don't want your really nice, beautiful portfolio to be viewed on somebody that's got an outdated phone and outdated graphics with the brightness turned down. It's going to really hurt your chances of being able to get that return business. So make sure that you have something with a nice display that really showcases the quality of your work and makes it stand out amongst your competitors. Lastly, you need to be able to bring a PDF version of your prices. Having your prices readily available is easy to distribute amongst realtors, and it can be kind of controversial because some people don't like to have their price list listed out there for people to be able to see or compare to other photographers. numbers, but I typically like to have a price list so realtors know all the services that I offer, and I don't have to list every single one out loud. Now, the third step is going to be what to say. And if you've made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free and it helps me out a ton and allows me to make more videos like this for you guys. We're really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I know that we can do it. And the moment that we do, I can make more videos and content like this for you guys. So please, hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel means a lot, and it helps me out a ton. Now, when it comes to what to say, you need to have two scripts. One, talking to the office administrator or the person working the front desk, and talking to the broker manager, but more on the second one later. And we're also gonna get into more tips and tricks of what to say later on in the video, but this is just the foundation that you need to know before moving on to what to say exactly. Having a script is super important because you need to have a foundation of what you want to say and the way that you wanna advertise your business. You need to have highlights about what makes your business special and what you're confident in when you bring to the table when you talk to agents and brokerages. Is it gonna go right the first time no matter how many times you rehearse it? Absolutely not. It's gonna be a terrible mess of you fumbling over your words, trying to like throw out business cards and just trying to like make it work. It's okay if you mess up the first couple of times, it's natural. Some people it comes easier than others, but if you have a script, you can build on that foundation and be a little bit more confident when you go in, as opposed to just going in and winging it every single time, hoping for the best. Now, step number 4 is gonna be getting past the front desk. Now, you know what to wear, you know what to bring, and you have a rough draft of your script ready to go and memorized. When you get to the front desk, make sure that you obviously introduce yourself and your business, and you're gonna ask this very important question. If you don't remember anything about this video or you need a one specific highlight note, it's this question. And the question is, may I please schedule an appointment with the broker manager? This question is important for a variety of reasons. The first being, if you ask to speak with the broker manager directly, they're going to tell you that he's at lunch, or he's on a call, or he's busy. The person working the front desk is trained to filter out people and not annoy the broker manager with every single person that walks in. Remember, I was a realtor at one point and I saw people coming in and out of the brokerages marketing their businesses in different ways. And when you schedule an appointment with the broker manager, it requires the person working at the front desk or the office administrator to physically go and ask the broker manager when he's available or schedule something in his appointment book. This is a crucial step in being able to meet the broker manager. Now, again, you might be asking, why do you want to meet the broker manager and not the agents? Because if you go chasing agents, especially in a highly populated area, agents come and go all the time. They transfer, they leave, or they just stop working, or more agents come on. If you win over the broker manager of a real estate brokerage, then you're more likely to have a huge advocate for your business when new agents come into the office or when somebody in the office overall is looking for a photographer. Take my word for it, if you win the broker manager, you're going to win a lot of return business. Step 5 is going to be the conversation. Now, if you're an introvert, brace yourself, it gets easier, I promise. I'm a little bit more extroverted, so it's a little bit easier for me. But when you're going to have the conversation with the broker manager, one of the best ways and one of the best things that I can recommend is to find some icebreakers. A lot of social psychology goes into this, and for me personally, whenever I'm having a conversation with somebody for the first time in their office, I like to find something to break the ice. Now, I was in the military and I read a lot of books, so I've traveled to a bunch of places. So when I go into an office, typically what I like to look for is books that I may have read, or they have some memorabilia from a location that I've traveled to. It may be easier for me to connect with somebody if we've been to the same place. We can talk about familiar restaurants and certain things that we like to do or places that we've been. And if you can't find anything like that, or maybe you just are a little bit younger and you don't have a lot of those experiences, one of the best things that you can do as well is talk about their work experience or talk about their families. If they're broker managers, they've probably been in business for a while, and you can kind of get that hint if they've been in the business for a while. And if they have a lot of pictures of their family, which most people do in their office, one of the things, or two of the things that people take the most pride in is their work, the quality of their work, and their families. And this this is a great way for you to kind of ease into the conversation without jumping to anything straight away. The one thing that I suggest is do not jump into pricing automatically in the services that you provide without introducing yourself. That's a great way to ruin the sale. When you're talking to a broker manager or somebody for the first time, you don't want to go into right away what you can provide in the pricing without even introducing yourself or familiarizing yourself with them and getting to know them. You want to build somewhat of a foundation with them before you get into what your real purpose there is. Now, obviously they're going to know why you're there, but it's best practice to talk about yourself and them before you even go into the prices and services that you offer. Now, in this process, you're also going to be showcasing your work. Me personally, whenever I hand them the iPad, I already have an album pulled up on my Photos app. It's just a typical iPad Photos app. And there are photos of before and afters, but they're also labeled photos. Having labeled before and after photos are very important for a multitude of reasons, but to summarize it, it's really important because agents and broker managers aren't photographers. Now, what may be normal editing for you, which is like sky replacements, maybe TV replacements, window pulls, they don't know all of that. A lot of agents and brokers just don't know how that process works. When you have your photos labeled in a before and after format with the labeling showcasing some of the editing techniques that you use, it looks a lot more impressive and you don't just say a bunch of things that they don't understand. Now, moving into the sixth and final step, this is basically just going to be the conversation finishing. Now, ideally, to summarize step 5, you've had some icebreakers, you've had some conversation outside of real estate, but also talked about your business, you've showcased and wowed them with your portfolio, I would hope, and you even potentially gave them a PDF version of your price list if they ask for it specifically. Now, moving into the last part of that conversation, typically this is where you stand up, shake hands. This is where I will give business cards to the broker manager and or the person at the front desk and encourage them if they have any questions to please reach out to me. If you feel like the conversation went super well and you see some agents in the office, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with asking if you can pass out cards to agents in the office, but I would only do that if you feel like the conversation went really well. I've had conversations that I feel like I've really connected with broker managers, and I've had some that just see me more as like a transaction or talking about my business. There's nothing wrong with either, but if I feel confident and I feel like they really enjoyed the conversation as much as I did, then I'll always ask. There's nothing wrong with getting told no. It's just part of the business, but I haven't been told no when I've asked, but I only ask when I feel super comfortable and I feel like we really connected. Now, if you're already doing something similar to what I've talked about in this video, please let me know down in the comment section down below how your experiences went. A lot of people would like to know as well how this process works. There's not any videos on this, and a lot of people have asked for this, so I've really tried to be specific with a lot of the things that I say and do. And if you guys have questions, please let me know down in the comment section down below. I can make another video of like frequently asked questions because I don't really know what people are looking for exactly, and we're not that big of a channel for me to be able to do a questionnaire so that I know what you guys are looking for. So please let me know if I answered your questions in the comments and what you may be looking for specifically. But with all that being said, guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably going to be a long one, so please, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's super helpful in more ways than you guys know. And again, if you have any questions, let me know down there as well. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you shareholders in the next video.